everybody, it's Dottie and Orly, and we are back for another episode of Seeds of Success. Hope you guys are all ready to learn a little bit today because we certainly are ready to dish it up. Hi, Orly. How's it going today?
It's going good. How are you?
I am really good. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about filling the holes. And I know that might sound a little bit strange, but we are in the fall, and those bowling centers that have fall leagues, all of the dust has started to settle, and we see how many people we have, how many teams we have, and where we have holes. Where do we have empty lanes? Because where there's an empty lane, there's opportunity. An empty lane means no money going into the register, right? And we
Yeah.
all know it's not what you want to do. So today we're going to talk a little bit about filling the holes, fill in
Yeah.
the gaps that we now see we have here at our center. So, so as I said, fall leagues are on the floor. We have a 32 lane center and we have only 20 lanes of leagues. What do we do? What do we
There's
do?
yeah, a lot of things you could do. I mean, I think one of them would be to promote those lanes for open bowl. There's always going to be you're going to get your centers that people come in are like, oh, they just do leagues that night. They do leagues that night, or maybe you are not that you're going to lose customers, but you might be used to being full all the time, and then for some reason this year, maybe people just aren't coming out as much. So you have 4, 5, 6, 7 empty lanes. Use those to your advantage. Don't just be like, oh wow, they're empty. Promote that you have open bowl on those lanes, and you're gonna get people in that the ones that were used to being a league all the time. They're gonna be, oh wow, you have open bowl also now, so they're gonna start to fill those lanes for you.
What a great point you have there, Orly. So, my perception of this is for many years, bowling centers have been full. The early slot in many centers, we were full. The late shift as well, and we have trained our customer not to come during certain periods because we don't have lanes available, right? Well, things change, right? And when those changes happen, unless we go back and try to reach those people and we let our customers know that lanes are available, we've already programmed them not to come during those times. So we need to have an aggressive plan in place to let customers know when we have lanes available. And we need to fill those lanes. So, as we started the show by saying, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Number one, first of all, we need to identify where we have the openings and we need to let people know, hey, folks, we have lanes available on these nights at the very, very least that we can do that, right? But we can do a number of things to fill those holes on a routine basis. So we can create a another league to fill those lanes. So more of a social league, right? Short term, more devoted to fun and having a good time than it is to, competing. It's still competitive, right?
Yeah,
Because we can compete and still have fun. And we can also compete and not be a good bowler, right?
yeah. No, I
Um,
think it's a great point because I've had people come in before, and you're like, do you guys have any leagues? Oh, currently we're having a fun league coming up, kind of a social league. Oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for because I'm not really a big bowler. I'm not that good. So yeah, that's a perfect opportunity to fill those lanes with, a social league.
yes, absolutely. Or you can fill those lanes with some open play specials. So, scoring systems have all kind of features in them that you can pull out a specific feature and you can wrap an entire promotion around it. So perhaps you do a disco night,
Okay.
and you encourage people to come in the dress and you play disco music and you have that as your theme and, just create the atmosphere, right? So there's a number of things that you can do like that. Maybe it's a late night and you're having, you have lanes available, say from 9 o'clock to close. Well, we know that at 9 o'clock, what age group is really getting in the swing of things? It's our young adults, right? Our college students. So consider if you've got lanes available late at night, do something for that particular demographic, something that's going to appeal to them. Um,
Yeah,
show
yeah, if it's a dinner time, maybe promote, like a pizza with the lane with the open bowl. And you might not
Yep.
have to go that far for those customers. That might be your league bowlers bringing in their kids now and saying, hey, you go do open bowl in that lane, eat some pizza while I'm over here doing my league, you know?
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And again, look at what you have available. Look at what you have in front of you, that you have the ability to create something unique. You want to, anybody can turn on the lanes and hope that people come in. But when you can put a mindful program in place where you have something unique as the draw, that sets you apart from the competitor, right? So look at your availability, look at what features you have available, tap into your staff. I know you guys get so tired of Orly and I saying it, but your staff is a good source of feedback and of ideas. And when you can give them the opportunity to contribute and feel like that their ideas are heard, that gets them to want to promote it, to want to have a good time, to want to work it because they want to see, how it's going to turn out, right? They have ownership. They feel ownership in the idea. So yeah, I definitely encourage that. But there's a lot of different ways that you can fill holes. And just remember, an empty lane means no money going to the register. So it is an opportunity. So make sure that you are looking at it as such and you have a plan in place to fill those empty lanes.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, and post that up like during your leagues or, because those league bowlers might have friends that don't do league bowling and they might say, oh, I'm going to tell, their friends might want to come out and kind of hang out with them at the same time they're doing their league and they could be on that lane just doing some open lane. And then once the league's over, maybe they jump over and start bowling with them or having drinks with them or eating food with them, just kind of all hanging out. So there's plenty of ways to push it out there.
Absolutely. And, Orly, I want to close with just a reminder. First of all, if you have empty lanes, you need to get the word out that you have empty lanes for all those people that we've programmed to think that we don't have empty lanes. Get the word out. Number two, if you have empty lanes, make sure that you are coming up with something to fill those lanes, be it an open bowling promotion, or a league promotion, whatever the case may be. And third, make sure that you're letting those internal people know, hey, we have empty lanes and we're trying to promote them. You have no idea when you have, this is something that I found very interesting. You can get your league bowlers to really help you promote, because when they know that you have empty lanes means no revenue coming in for those lanes, which means that if that continues, you might have to consider going up on lineage, right? But if everybody pitches in and helps to fill those lanes, then that gives you the opportunity to either minimize the amount that you need to go up on your leagues, but to give them an opportunity to help you. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how much they want to do that because they don't want their lineage to go up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And another thing I was going to say is, like you said, let people know, because I mean, you might have somebody just stumbles in and says, hey, do you have an open lane? Yeah, we do have open lanes. But I know, for instance, at our center, the parking lot isn't huge. So if there's 15 cars there, it looks packed. Like, oh, we're not even stopping there. They must be booked up. So if you're letting people know on social media, hey, we do have open lanes, or feel free to call in and check, see if we have open lanes, people are going to call in and you'll let them know.
Absolutely. And of course, if you have online reservations, be creative with that and make sure that you're getting people to sign up ahead of time and make sure that you're driving people to your online reservations to reserve those limited lanes. And when you put the fear of missing out in front of somebody, that makes them act. So don't forget to use that. If you only have a limited number of lanes available and you are making those available on online reservations, make sure they know limited. First come, first serve. Get it while it's hot. Don't miss out. And people will react when they know that there's a chance of them not having them available. So, well, this has been a great show, Orly. I hope that our listeners think about what we've said, and hopefully what would really be nice is if they had no empty lanes ever. Wouldn't that be nice? But we're real. We're we don't live in a fantasy world all of the time, just some of the time. But make sure that you are taking advantage of some of these little ideas that we've thrown out today, and fill in those empty lanes and making sure that you are letting people know what you have and when they can come in to visit your center. So, Orly, anything else?
That's all for me. You took
All
the words right
right.
out of my mouth, as always.
Awesome. Listeners, we really hope you take advantage of some of this, and we would love to hear from you. Share our podcast. We thoroughly love what we do. We do this for you. We want to make sure that we are giving you little things that you can do that likely you already know about, but sometimes they just fall off your radar. So we hope that you continue to tune in to us. Make sure that you are subscribing. Make sure you are sharing our podcast with your employees. And until next time, we say thanks for joining us and keep listening.